the middle of a sales call. Well, you could just go back 3 minutes and watch what I did or listen to what I did. Oh man, anything's possible. So here we are. I think we're live. It's connecting.
Oh my gosh, we're live. Yay! Here we are again. This has been a long ride, 4 years, I think, or over 4 years.
Yeah, we're up to 109 subscribers on the channel. That's kind of exciting.
Jiminy Cricket. Woo!
We'll see how many people watch the live. Are you live?
I'm live, I guess. Uh,
So guys, yeah, we once again we do the lives every single week. We come up with different topics, and if there's anything that you guys would like us to cover, or if you have insights or questions about certain things, again, Jeff, how long have you been running your entertainment company?
Over 40 years.
Over 40 years. And I've really dug in and done growth with my company since 2020, but I've been a DJ since 1995. So however many years is that? That's 40 years. So I'm behind you. 30 years, 30 years, 10 years behind you. There you
It's all right.
go. I'll do math better, one day. Numbers.
Well, there you go. I can count on you now.
That's yeah, that's the thing too, right? Like find somebody that can do the things that you're not good at. So understand what your strengths are and then hire somebody else to, help you out along the way. That's why I have somebody answering the calls right now when the
Oh,
phone rings. Because you can't be so many places at once. I'm in the middle of doing a contract right now, and I was explaining to the team that, hey, look, I can do video recording, I can do audio editing, I can sync all the microphones, I can do the panelists, I can do the DJing, I can set the room up, I can put pipe and drape up, I can do all these things. Well, what if the phone rings and the next call is coming from another $20,000 client? Can't do all those things and answer a call at the same time. So that's why I need a staff behind me, around me. So, working with me, however you want to say it. Like can't do anything, everything by yourself. Can't do it all. So it's always good to step back and have people help you out along the way. So I had a couple points of interest I was talking over with Jeff before we got on the call, and the first thing I wanted to talk about was how invested are you? So think about this for a second, right? Like, if I could give you some information for free, like the YouTube channel, for instance, and you can see how many people will watch it, right? Maybe not a whole lot, or maybe how compelling are you? Yeah, if it's free information, how motivated are you to go ahead and get the information, right? Is it useful for your time? Right. So I could have classes online for free, right? Like, hey, look, this is how I built my host system. I can give it to you for free. I can. So Russell Brunson talks about this in his books as well. So Russell Brunson, I don't know, it's like $150,000 just to be in his inner circle to get the information that he has. And this is for a year subscription or something like that. So it's like $150,000 just to get next to the guy, to get the information, to get the tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars that this guy can make. Now, Russell Brunson actually sets the record for how much money you can make within an hour and a half or something like that. Like it's ridiculous. You got to go online and look at it. Like he blew everybody away with his process of how ClickFunnels work. So with that in mind, right? So I could give you a class for free. Like how invested or how important it would it be for you to go back and get that information so that you can better, you know, live a better life, right? So keep that in mind. There's another thing inside the hypnosis community, right? So there are people out there that specialize in helping people quit smoking. And you could go to a hypnotist and pay $5 or $0. And you tell that hypnotist that you want to quit smoking. So how invested are you at $5 or $10, $20, $100, right? So how invested are you in to quit? You could go to a hypnotist and say, oh, that didn't work. Yet on the flip side of that, if you wanted to go to a serious hypnotist and you could spend $10,000, $5,000, something that meant something to you. So if you're a millionaire, $10,000 may not mean a whole lot to you. But if you had $30,000 and it was like, oh, wow, I better quit the smoking after I go see this hypnotist. And it may not hold as much weight if the money doesn't mean as much to you. So that's why the price keeps going up. You only want to spend time with people that are invested on the success. So again, I can hold a free class, teach everybody everything that I did, and they'll be like, "Oh, that didn't mean anything because you didn't apply anything that you learned, or maybe the information wasn't as valuable to you as you didn't apply the information because you didn't have nothing to lose." by not applying the information. And I was talking to somebody recently and I was like, "Hey man, I can help you build your business." And he was like, "Well, you can help me build my business and when I start getting success, I can pay you then on the back end, right?" And I'd be like, I didn't say anything. I was like, I just let the guy talk. And then after I got on the phone, I was like, this this phenomenon came up more and more into my conscious. And then I looked it up. I forgot the name of the phenomenon, yet Google explains it like this. So if you're spending $5 to go to the gym and you're just not going to go because you're not as invested to go to the gym, and what's $5 to you at the end of the month? Now, if you were spending 100 to $150 a month, you'd want to go every day to get the most out of your money. So just keep that in mind. Like, how invested are you? I know I just kept talking there.
No, a good rambling there. The truth is, with hypnosis and other things, how motivated some people need to be motivated by the hurt. If they don't pay the money, they're not even going to do the work. And you're going to have to be invested either way if you want something to happen. Now, money is a motivator, and a lot of times we've found a whole bunch of people, if you give it for free or you give free information, that's what people think it's worth nothing. But that's not always the case. Actually, you can find good information out of anything if you look for it. But what are you invested in? Are you going to do the work? And it
So,
doesn't even matter
how
how
many
much
clients have
they
you
pay
had
you
where
for
you've spent tons of time with them for free? Can you tell us about that?
it. Yeah. Well, I've done hundreds of people for free, and that was because I was getting more out because that's kind of a happiness coach, and also it made me happy to help them be happy. But after a while, it's just like you said, you're pretty much wasting your time with a lot of people because they believe that you gave it for free, so it's worth nothing. And that's the one you either stop giving. But we go back to that givers give and takers take, and the takers keep on taking because that's what they do, and the givers give. But at one point, for the giver, would be, you got to stop somewhere. And again, what you were mentioning, the real thing is when you give somebody too much, they don't appreciate it. So you have to figure out for yourself where you're coming on that. And on the other side, the person has to figure out what are they willing to do to get what they want. See, and so that's why we ask people, what on the scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you? They say 6, and why didn't you say less? Or say, why didn't you say more? Got to figure that out because I wouldn't want to work with, or pay or not. I wouldn't want to work with anybody who didn't say 8 or 9 or 10 at one point because if they don't even care, we can't make anybody do anything. And the only way we can make anybody do anything is if we have leverage over them in some way. And if we lose that leverage, then we still won't be able to do it. So, what we have to do is figure out, is it worth our time and their time? That's what I would say right off is how much are you invested? You got to look into yourself and what are you willing to put into it? Now, I believe it really does do a good service because also it's reciprocity too. So if you give somebody money, it motivates you to do it. And it's also, they probably deserve the money anyway because they're giving you good information that helped you get somewhere. Now, it's not always the person, the educator's fault when somebody doesn't take the information. Like you just said, we can give you so much information, but if you do nothing with it, it's really a waste of both of our time. You know what I mean? So
So the biggest life lesson for me was that I was having all these different DJs around me and I wanted to see them succeed. So I just kept giving, like, oh, come live at my house, come use my car, I'll train you how to do all this. And I would give, give, give. And well, how invested were they? Were they just living through the world thinking people just are supposed to help them out along the way, that they didn't, need to do anything in return? So when you're giving, You don't have to, that was something I had to learn as well, is that you don't expect anything in return. So when they left me and took my job, I felt, I don't know, pretty bad, like backstabbed. And well, that was something I had to learn. I only liked helping people that have the appreciation value, because once you understand your value structure, appreciation was one of the ones of my whatever appreciation means to me, or because of your values or the definition that you give them. So appreciation to me meant like, oh, if I help you out, they should at least have my back or be around. And maybe that's a pretty common way to look at things, or a narcissist wouldn't look at like that, right? They'd be like, oh yeah, he helped me out. I got to find more people to help me out, so I can just suck the life out of them, But that's how they looked at it. And at the end of the day, is someone going to be able to say no to somebody else who's in charge of giving them gigs, even though you helped them out? No, they're going to turn your back on you, because that's where the whole like cutthroat world in the entertainment business, comes from, right? So just remember, uh, free information could also be like somebody giving you bad information, and then like someone comes up to you and says you should do this, right? Like, and then you just take that information and run with it without actually like, oh, does this guy have, proof to know what he's talking about, type thing. So again, as long as somebody shows you proof that they know what they're doing, and then they put a price in front of you, and that makes sense to you, then go ahead with it. But you still have to do the work, because it's not like a lot of people think it's like a light switch. You just turn something on and all automatically there you go. And I was talking to one of the other guys that I have that working for me. Like he's younger, right? He works as a bank teller, and he's definitely money. Like, I don't know if you know about the four different motivators, but he's definitely money motivated. So I started showing him numbers and stuff. So he was asking me these questions like, when you do scaling, how come it doesn't like triple every single time? Well, it doesn't triple every single time because scaling is like on a bell curve. So if I made $100,000 more 2 years in a row, it doesn't mean I'm going to make $100,000 more the next year. Well, there's many factors, like how much is my competition, right? How many more people are out there? How many people are getting married? Is the business still there? Because I'm in if there's no show, there's no wedding, right? If there's no wedding, there's no business. If there's no events, people aren't coming to Orlando or whatever for whatever reason, like you're not going to be able to scale. And then on top of that, if you don't, you have to train more people to be able to replicate the same amount. It's not like you could just double it. And it's really a little bit kind of misleading how some of the marketers explain how advertising works, right? So if they explain it like this. So if you go into a casino and you put 20 bucks into a slot machine, and 100 bucks come out, when you just keep doing that, and that's how they, cross map that analogy to how marketing and scaling your business works. But they forget to tell you
The variable.
it's variable. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could just throw some wrenches in there right now. COVID,
Yeah, right.
tariffs,
Yeah.
Democrats, Republicans, anything could change the way it's going. So there's no guarantee there. I mean, in theory, this might work, but it doesn't. Also, how much are you willing to do? And I mean, Scott, you really work hard, and we already know that. I mean, you can't just sit on your duff and do nothing and make that kind of money. And the point is, if you're not going to put in the effort, then I'm just saying, if you're not willing, if you're not there at 8 or 9, maybe you should go find something where you're at 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How invested are you? Like how motivated are you to get results? Right.
And what's going to take to motivate you? Because people are motivated by different things. What is motivating you, and do more of that? What's motivating? Is it family? Is it money? Is it prestige? Because we all work for different things. Is it belonging? Or do we want to belong? What is motivating you to go to the next step? I mean, is it, you know, we're
Yeah.
we're all motivated by different things.
And that
So,
leads you to the next segue. Like, if somebody's not going to like what you're doing, are you going to stop? Like, if you truly believe what you're doing is helping out other people, and somebody else doesn't like it, are you going to let that opinion like matter to you? Right.
well, let's
Yeah.
hope not. Let's hope it everything matters, yet it doesn't. So it's not what other people really believe about you, it's what you believe about yourself. So when you have that attitude, you're not working on hurting anyone in any way. You're just doing what's right for you and your family and your people. Like the people who you matter to and that you care for. So those people have more uh, clout than other people. And the problem if here's the thing, when you put yourself out there, we're talking a little bit about somebody putting themselves out. It doesn't matter if it's me or a 7-year old on the internet or a 30-year old or whoever they are, they're putting themselves out on the internet. And when they do, someone is going to have an opinion on that. Now, and it might be a negative opinion, a positive opinion, but even there's people out there who just want to cause conflict. I'm just telling you,
So
they'll make a conflict so they can just fight with somebody all day. It's just so you got to watch what you care about and it is it really worth your time to get in one of those tit for tat. Oh, I'm right. You're wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. Again, we all live by a different map. We're all different people. So what matters to me doesn't maybe matter to you at all, and vice versa. So again,
so that's why you put yourself out there so you can find the people that are on the same wavelength, right?
there you go. Your tribe. The
So that's
people.
what Jeff was saying a little bit earlier, negative and positive. Well, if we go back to what Tony Robbins says, and what I believe to hold is true, is that nothing has any meaning other than the meaning that you give it. So
Right.
somebody gives you critical feedback or even insults you, you can look at that however you want. Oh, that guy insulted me. Oh, great. At least he said something, right? Or, well, I can look at it and be like, well, maybe I need to work on that part. Like, and anybody that's being mean to you, it's about them, right?
Yeah, yeah, right. I was about to say that. Remember, what people say is about them, and how you react is about you. So, how are you going to react, and how's it going to? And you have the ability. Well, you might not now, but there must a lot of people have the ability to understand that they can change their emotions in a moment. You know, as you look at the things you
Yeah.
look at,
Would
if
you want to
you look
give
at them
somebody the
different, they
power to
change.
change your emotions? Would you want to give somebody that power to change your emotions?
You don't have to. That's the point. That's when we go down and go back to ourselves and say, well, what matters is, how we believe ourselves to be, not what you believe in me. If I don't believe in myself, so that's where a lot of times people really do need to work on themselves so they can say, what I usually, when I'm helping people out, I always say, I want you to be your own best friend. Now, I want you to push yourself hard like you would push a friend, but never, ever push yourself so hard that you'd lose your friend. Okay. But I want you to love your friend. I want you to be nice to your friend, just like you would to your best friend. I mean, you wouldn't go be mean to your best friend to make him feel bad every day and want to, take him down. And so treat yourself better. And if you're treating yourself, here's some things. If your mind's going, I should, I must, who I ought to, that's other people's opinions pushing you. And because you can change those words. I have the opportunity to do this. I get to do this. I want to do this. If you the other way, all that is stress on you, and usually it's somebody else's opinion when you say I should do that because somebody has given you that. So stop those words to yourself and say, what can I do to change the way I look
So
at
a
it? Go ahead.
little caveat to that.
Okay.
Need to, ought to, should, must, right? That's when, well, okay, so can we talk about the identity level first? If you're doing these things past your identity level, that'll lead to depression. Now, on the other hand, if you have a goal, like I need to do X, Y, and Z to accomplish X, Y, and Z, right? So
Okay.
little bit of a caveat to that. But if you're,
Okay, yeah, I didn't mean when somebody else is saying you need. There are certain things you need to do to get to a certain amount. I mean, you need to save money if you want to have more money. You need to invest if you're going to be an investor. Uh, Yet you get the opportunity. I'm saying let's switch it around to the positive that I have the opportunity to do this, and
or
good
if you're
must do.
saying I need to pick up these lights because I'm not going to be able to get this gig, even though I don't want to do it, then you might want to look at that situation and change how that is. Now,
Right.
so if it means going to another talent agent that treats you better, that might be the answer versus having to do things that you don't want to do all the time. uh, to not be able to live in your own identity. Now, identity is like the most important thing when it comes to self-esteem. You want to live in a full understanding of who you are and what makes you tick and what makes the most sense to you, especially when you get to like a fork in the road. Like those happen all the time, right? So it's like, well, I can go do this, but which one aligns with, you know, who I am? Like again, I was talking about the appreciation value level. Well, will I be appreciated if I help these people? No? Okay, well, that doesn't make any sense then. And I need to cut myself off from these people. Or well, are these people honest? Well, nope, nope. That's another one on my checklist, right? I don't want to help out these people if they're not honest because they won't be trustworthy, right? Like I can't trust what they're saying. Do these people have my back? Do they have the honor value? No, no, I guess not. So I would rather take the path that was harder, but at least align with my value structure versus something that may seem easier. But what are you really building? You're building up a bunch of people that don't have the trust, honesty, or any of those values around you. And then are you conscious enough to be able to pick up the language patterns that people use to be able to determine whether or not these people need to be in your circle or not? I had somebody send me an image once, right? And the image was somebody's guitar got stolen, right? And the comment below was, "Oh, you did a public service. Whoever stole this guitar did us a public service because the guy sucked at guitar every time he went out." And he thought that was funny and sent it to me. And I was like, even though that comment may be funny, but you just said it was okay to steal something if you thought it was worthy. So, so I pushed that person out to a different boundary. Like, but these things are happening in front of you all the time, and you have to be able to decode it, so you can avoid future mishaps.
A real easy thing to think about is when you get off the phone with somebody, doesn't matter a client or whatever, how do you feel? If they make you feel like shit, sorry, if they make you feel bad every time you talk to them, or I mean, that could be your family, that could be your friends or anything. Are they really there for you? Like your friends, are they really wanting to bring you down, bring you up, be there for you? So how do you feel after you get off the phone, plus or minus, with anybody in your circles? And then if if you don't get any positive at all with these guys, then maybe you don't have to fire them, but put them farther away, and then bring the people who are more into your group that help you and help you grow, because you're going to be kind of like the five people you hang around with most. Now, you're not going to be exactly like them, but they will represent some of your life, whoever you're hanging out with. So go hang out with the people you want to be like. That
Well,
sounds good.
there you go. I think that pretty much covers it for today. Do you have
Yeah.
anything you'd like to add?
Uh, really, go back to what I said before. Work on being your own best friend and motivating yourself as your own best friend to what is right for you. Just say, and you can even just you can even just put a pillow in front of you and act like that's your best friend and talk to him and say, what would you say to this best friend? And then you're actually talking to yourself. Or if you got face, what on Zoom, you
You
can
talking to your
Zoom it.
best friend now?
Right. You can Zoom. I was like talking to myself. So you go to the Zoom and you're actually talking, and you can hear yourself say everything you would to your best friend, and then rewind it and look at it, because it's true. Treat yourself as good as you treat other people. Seriously,
Or
because
also,
and motivate them where you want to be. Go ahead.
also on the flip side of that, I think that's Gestalt therapy, correct?
Yes. Well, yeah. You
Yeah,
can.
so you basically sit in a chair and they have a chair in front of you. And even if you want to like yell at the chair, like if it's another person of you, right? Just yell it out, let it out. Like and then figure out and then go sit in that chair and then, oh, what did that person say to me? And you can yell at the other person and at least get it out of your
All
subconscious,
right, but
right? Like,
as you're doing that, and acts like we could do the third position too, the bug on the wall watching, and how did so this gives you perspective really. where you're at. So, I mean, this is a really good exercise to do either way. And uh, what you do, and also when you're talking to yourself, is it true? Is this really true? Really think about what you're saying to me. Is it true? And even if you're talking to yourself, is this true? Is this really the fact? Would somebody say this to me? And if so, now, no one I've ever met was perfect, and in religion, maybe religious people are perfect, but not anybody I've ever met. So you can say, is it true? And then you can come back and say, and now what? Then you negotiate with yourself because the different parts of you, what would you do? What would we do different? You know, uh, I'm going to tell you, you can see we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years here, and I'm not always 100%, and then I'll go, no, or something like that. I used to think if I wasn't perfect, then I shouldn't live. And that was such a terrible thing. This was not anywhere in the, I mean, long, long time ago. But the biggest thing I ever did was find out that you don't have to be perfect because you can't. You can't be perfect. The only thing you can be perfect at is being the best you can be every day. And that's the best advice I've ever given anyone, and especially myself. Just be the best you each and every day. Get up and do your best, and you'll find your life changing because that's all you can do. You can't do any more than your best. I mean, you can push yourself to go to a higher limit because you're not at your best. When you do that, you get to the next limit. But anyway, I'm about to go in that whole different story, but that's great.
Yeah.
So,
So, guys, make sure to leave a comment, follow, like, subscribe,
yeah.
tell a friend, let us know, and we'll talk about some any NLP questions, hypnosis
Yeah,
questions.
or just leave a comment what you're thinking here, of what we said. What's your opinion on it? And then we can get our little feelers hurt.
Yeah, just remember, nobody can hurt your feelings if you care about their opinion. I know
Okay.
that's really hard. Kinesthetic people hate hearing that, but if you just don't care, or if you turn down the empathy, I mean, you just get through it.